All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to do a slow flow and stretch for 60 minutes. And if we've never met before, my name is Cindy. So we'll go ahead and meet on our mats. And we're starting in Sukhasana or easy seat today. So just crossing the legs and finding a tall spine. And if you're at home and you do have a block handy, one way that you can make yourself more comfortable is just elevating your seat and sliding the block underneath. And what this does is it just elevates your hips over your knees. So it takes some of the pressure off of your knees. So that's one way you could set yourself up. If that doesn't serve you as well, another way you could sit is to just bring your knees together. And if you have a block or a pillow or anything like that, you can just slide this underneath and lower your seat down like that. So just finding the most comfortable seat. We'll be here for a few rounds of breath. And just feeling really grounded down through the sits bones. And then think of lengthening up through the spine and lengthening the crown of your head without lifting your chin. You can place your palms on your laps, so palms facing down if you feel like you need a little bit more grounding. Or you can spin your palms up so they're in receiving mode to receive positive energy from the universe. And then start to shut down or close down the eyes. And bringing the attention to your breath. So just checking in, noticing how you're feeling this morning. And then following the wave of the breath. So using this breath to get out of the mind and into the body. So noticing all the sensations that come with the breath. As you inhale, your ribcage expands. And as you exhale, your ribcage decompresses, your belly softens. Just taking a few more rounds of breath, just like that. Resisting the urge to control or restrict the breath. Just letting it be. Maybe beginning on working on that ujjayi breath. So focusing on lengthening inhales and lengthening exhales while making that constriction at the back of the throat. So the breath sounds like an ocean wave. And it serves as a point of concentration for your practice, as well as it warms up the body, the muscles, and the joints. So take about 3 rounds of your ujjayi breath on your own time. When you're finished, keeping your eyes closed, circle the arms up overhead, bring your palms to touch, and exhale, draw your hands to your heart center, Anjali Mudra. Taking a moment here to set an intention for our practice. So an intention can be a mantra, a phrase, a prayer. Allowing this intention to serve as a mental drishti, or mental focal point for your practice. With your next inhale, seal your intention in. And as you exhale, open your mouth inside out and let it go. Just know you can come back to this at any point in time you need guidance for your practice. Beginning to flutter the eyes open. Circle the hands up overhead. Bring palms to touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time, deep breath in. Arms reach, palms to touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. This time, as the arms reach up overhead, we're going to come down onto our left hand and open up our right side body. So think of spiraling your right shoulder blade back as you lift your heart and look up to the sky. If this bothers your neck, you can always find your neutral gaze or maybe even look down towards your left fingertips. With your next inhale, reach your hands overhead. And exhale, right hand's lower, left hand reaches up and over. Opening up that left side body. Once more, inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, left hand lowers, maybe sliding the hand down, this time onto the forearm. If you have the space, you want to make sure that your right sits bone is still connected to the earth here. Inhale, both arms reach up, and then exhale, right fingertips lower, and then if you came down onto the forearm on the other side, finding that symmetry, that balance here. Left sits bone still grounding into the earth. And then inhale, both hands reach up overhead. Next, exhale, twisting over to the left. So the right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh, the left hand behind you like a second spine. Inhale, we lift and lengthen. We draw the navel into the spine. And then exhale, twist, maybe look over that left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Releasing the arm that's behind you over to that right corner, so opening up left side body. Maybe gaze to fingertips. And then gently circle the left hand down onto the right thigh. So starting to draw the chin into the chest, rounding through the spine, through the upper back. And then lift your gaze and slide your palms to touch. Interlace the hands. And then start to draw them under and forwards, feeling a nice stretch in through the wrists. Draw your shoulders down, navels to spine, still nice tall spine. Gently releasing the bind, and then inhale those arms up overhead, so getting a little bit into our shoulders. Next, exhale, open the arms, draw the elbows away, shoulders draw down. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, open up. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, keep pressing your palms together. Think of drawing your elbows away from one another. Sit bones stay grounded. And then reach those arms up overhead. Release the bind, draw them back behind you, interlace the hands, open up the heart and chest. If that's not accessible to you, take a hold of opposite elbows. Maybe lift the gaze, open up your heart. And then gently release the head back to neutral and start to walk the hands forward, releasing the forehead down towards the earth. And when you're ready, start to walk the fingertips back up towards you. Find your tall spine and then switch the legs. So non-dominant leg in front this time if you're sitting in Sukhasana. And next, inhale, arms reach up overhead. And then exhale, twisting to the right. Left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Right hand reaches behind you, finding that length in the spine, hollow up the belly. And then exhale, we twist, look over right shoulder. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, twist, releasing the hand that's behind you over to the left right corner, opening up right side body, reaching from the fingertips, really spiraling your heart open. Maybe gaze to fingertips. Circling the right hand down to the left thigh, drawing the chin into the chest, rounding the spine, hollowing up the belly. And then lift your gaze, sliding the palms together, interlacing the hands, drawing the wrists underneath and forward. So just being gentle with this stretch. Our wrists can get really tense here when we do a lot of typing or a lot of texting. And then keeping the bind, we'll unravel and draw the arms up overhead. So maybe even bring the biceps beside the ears. Think of lengthening the shoulders away from the ears, taking a deep breath in, lift up. Exhale, elbows draw out to the side, pressing those palms together. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, elbows draw out. Good, one more time. You might notice a little bit of shaking, that's okay. Inhale, lift, and then exhale, we'll hold here, draw out. And inhale, arms reach, releasing the hands back behind you, finding that bind, holding on to opposite elbows or bringing the palms together. Lifting up your heart, your chest, shoulders draw down. Neutralizing your gaze, and then starting to walk the hands forward, just rinsing everything out. Forehead to brace the earth. Starting to walk the hands back up and towards you. And then coming into a tabletop. So we're onto all fours here. Wrists are stacked underneath your shoulders. Knees are underneath of your hips. Spreading the fingertips wide like starfish. Rooting into Hastabana. This is your thumb and your index finger first, and then the rest of the fingertips. Make sure those elbow creases are spiraled forward, shoulders away from your ears, and then start to activate your Uddiyana Bandha. So this is 2 inches below your navel. Think of drawing that in and up. And then engage your pelvic floor muscles for Mula Bandha. So starting with cat and cow, inhale, lower your belly down, draw your heart forwards, gaze to sky. Exhale, chin into the chest, round the spine, pressing the floor away. Inhale, belly lowers, heart lifts, gaze lifts. Exhale, chin into the chest and round the spine. Maybe ears in between shoulders. So continuing on for a couple more rounds of cat and cow. And then really think of linking your breath to movement here. So if you lost the Ujjayi breath, coming back to that. This is a good place to do that, to revisit the breath. If there's any other movements that feel good to you, feel free to explore. Find that creativity in your practice. Any movement that would feel good to your body, feel free to do that. Leaning back in tabletop and stillness, and one more round of breath. And once you get there, engage your core, tuck your toes under. Start to elevate the knees, find that floating table here. So coming back to those bandhas, navels to spine, lifting up through the pelvic floor, pressing down through that Hasta Bandha. So nice and stable here. And take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, send your hips high, finding your downward facing dog. So upside down V shape. And then begin to pedal up the feet if that feels good. Maybe bending through running and then the neck, stretching out your hamstrings, your calves. Coming back to that place of stillness in our down dog to find our alignment here. So rooting into the L shapes of the hands, elbows draw away, or elbow creases spiral forward, shoulders draw away from the ears, tailbone nice and high, navel to spine. Allowing the heels to melt down towards the earth. If you have a tight back or tight hamstrings, it's okay to have a bend in the knees. And then bring your gaze, your drishti up towards your navel and maybe in between your inner thighs. Next, inhale, lift high on the toes. Exhale, hips and heels fall to the right. So find a deep bend in that right knee. If you'd like to take it a little bit further, just make sure you have equal weight in both hands. Next, inhale, lift high on the toes. Exhale, hips and heels fall to the left. Maybe take a bend in that left knee. Equal weight in both hands. Inhale, lift high on the toes, coming back through center. And then exhale to turbo dog. So bend the knees, pressing the chest towards the thighs, really pressing into the hands. Next, inhale, lift up the hips. Exhale, heels will lower. So doing this again, inhale, lift heels. Exhale, turbo dog, pressing the chest to thighs. Inhale, hips lift. Exhale, heels lower. One more time, inhale, lift high on the toes. Exhale, turbo dog, chest to thighs. Next, inhale, shifting forward to a high plank. So making sure shoulders are directly underneath of you, or directly over top of your wrists. And then you're making that nice straight line from the crown of the head all the way to the heels. So the hips have a tendency to lift up a little bit too high, and sometimes they droop a little bit. So just finding that neutral place, engaging everything, drawing the rib cage towards your navel to your rib cage. So bandhas are active here. Taking a deep breath in, and as we exhale, we lower onto the belly for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Once you get there, hands underneath the shoulders, untuck the toes. Inhale, lift your heart, your chest, find your baby cobra. So elbows draw back, collarbones broaden, crown of the head lengthens. Exhale, fold down, forehead meets the mat. Doing this again, inhale, lift up, find your baby cobra. Really focus on pressing the tops of your feet into the earth. Maybe cover the hands to set your core and your back straight. And then exhale, forehead lowers. Last set here, inhale, baby cobra, maybe go a little bit higher this time, maybe press into the hands. If you need a little bit more space in your low back, you can bring your feet mat's distance apart. And next exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes under, firm your core, press up to plank in a straight line, or use the knees if you need to. And then when you're ready, exhale to downward facing dog. Come back to the Ujjayi breath, taking 3 rounds of breath here. Next, inhale, lift high on the toes, bend your knees, walk to the top of your mat, little tiny baby steps. Once you get there all the way, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. So find your flat back, palms to shins, shoulders draw away from the ears, lengthening from the crown of the head all the way to the tailbone. And then exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, we fold. This time, find a soft bend in the knees, rooting down through the feet to Padabandha, pressing into the big toes. Hollow up the belly, and then rounding up vertebrae by vertebrae, nice and slow. One vertebrae stacking on top of the other. And once you get there, the crown of the head is the last thing to lift. So finding some stability, some groundedness through the earth. So spreading the toes wide, and then setting them back down onto the earth. So all 4 corners grounding in, lifting up through the inner arches and engaging your quadriceps here. Think of lengthening your tailbone down, engaging that transverse dominus area. Shoulders draw down, crown of the head reaches, palms facing forward, fingertips active. And next inhale, arms reach up overhead, palms to touch, gaze to thumbs. Exhale, hinge and fold, swan dive forwards. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Stepping back to your high plank. Modifying our flow here, lowering down to knees, chest, and chin. So hips stay lifted here. Next, inhale, draw your heart forward and through. Lift your heart, your chest for baby cobra. Exhale, chest lowers, tuck your toes under. Either use your knees or come into a high plank. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. Come back to the breath, reset and reconnect with the breath here. Step the feet together. Next inhale, right leg rises, 3 point. Begin to circle the ankle 3 times in one direction and 3 times in the other direction. And bend your knee, peel that hip open. So stacking right hip on top of left. Keeping the weight in the right hand, we tend to dump all the way into the left hand. So heel to seat, lift your knee nice and high. And then inhale, straighten the legs, squaring your hips. Exhale, draw knee to nose for cheetah and hold for 3, 2, 1. Step your foot in between your hands. Finding your low runner's lunge. So as you inhale, think of drawing your heart forward. Allow those hips to settle. And then exhale, lower to the back knee, untuck the toes. Next, inhale, right hand comes on top of right thigh. Left hand on top of right thigh. Or right hand. So allow those hips to move forwards and down. Navel to spine, nice tall spine. And then find the bind back behind you. So whether that's opposite elbows or interlace the hands back behind you. So draw the hands away from the seat and maybe start to lift your gaze. Bringing your head back to center with the hands down. We're going to take them over to the right hip crease. So it's tucked right into that right side, and this elbow has a tendency to drop. So draw it back down in towards you. Good, and then lowering the left ear into the shoulder. So opening up the right side of the neck here. Head comes back to center. Release your bind, hands to the inside of that right foot. So finding that lizard here. So keeping the knee into the shoulder, but make sure that your toes are in line with the knee. So if the knee decides to come out a little bit, the toes should come out a little bit. And finding a twist. So right hand reaches up to the sky. Hips are still facing forward. Your twist is happening from the mid to upper back. And then finding that quadricep stretch. So bringing the left heel into the seat, reaching around and taking a hold of the pinky toe side of the foot. Now if you can't quite reach, just keep reaching towards it. If you have a towel, a strap, anything that can assist you, you can use that as well. And then without slingshotting the leg, gently release. Right hand comes to the inside of the front foot, tucking your back toes under. We're spinning to find our wide leg forward fold. So hands are directly underneath the face. Flatten out your back, navel to spine. And then reaching your right hand up to the sky, pressing into the left hand as you twist open. So you want to keep your hip points still facing down and towards the mat. So it's just the spine that's twisting here. The pelvis stays neutral. Lower the right hand down, back underneath your face. The left hand reaches up to the sky. So keep pressing into the outer blades of the feet, twisting that heart open. Left hand lowers down, Skandasana. So bending into the left knee, the left toes will spin out. Hands move to your heart center, lifting the right toes to shins. So lower the left palm down, and then reaching the right hand up to sky. We're going to do some arm circles here. So reaching the fingertips over to the left corner. Inhale, reach back up. And then last time we're here, quarter turn to the back of the room for you. So low runner's lunge on the left foot. Inhale, draw your heart forward. Exhale, grounded warrior 3. So weight transfers onto the left foot. Right heel in line with right hip. Make sure your toes are pointing straight down. Fingertips walking back in line with toes. Palms are flat. Start to draw the chest to your thigh, maybe forehead to shin or chin to shin. And then drawing the right leg behind the left. So 2 pinky toes are touching here. Good, slight bend into the left knee. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms reach up overhead. Interlace the hands, Temple Mudra, releasing thumb and index finger. So inhale, lift and lengthen. And then exhale, coming down over to that right side. So feeling that stretch on that left side body. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, hinge and fold. Then walking the hands over to the left, releasing the head, the neck, the shoulders. Walking the hands over to the right. Lifting high and the toes unravel, so all 10 toes facing the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. And then walking the hands out to the top of your mat, finding that high plank. Drawing the knees into behind the right triceps for a couple sets of mountain climbers, nice and slow. So right knee, right tricep, left knee, left tricep. So using our core here, pressing into the hands, puffing up through the back of the shoulder blades. We'll do one more set each side. And then lowering down to knees, chest, chin. Inhale, draw your heart forward, lift your heart. Baby cobra. Exhale, chest lowers, forehead lowers, tucking toes under, pressing up to plank, or using the knees, and then making your way to your down dog, coming back to your 3 rounds of breath. Your Ujjayi breathing. Stepping your feet together. Next inhale, left leg rises 3-point. Start to circle the left ankle 3 times in one direction and 3 times in the other direction. Next, exhale, cheetah, knee to nose, round everything in as nice and tight as you can, really using your core, maybe even forehead to knee. For 3, 2, 1. Step your foot in between your hands, finding that low runner's lunge. So next inhale, draw your heart forward, lengthen. Hips settle. Exhale, right knee lowers, untuck the toes. Lifting up for low crescent, left hand comes on top of left thigh, right hand on top of left hand. Just allowing the pelvis to move forwards and down. Your shoulders stacked over hips, navel to spine. And when you're ready, drawing the hands back behind you, interlace the hands, find the bind, open up the heart, the chest. If you feel stable, maybe lift the gaze. Find that gentle back bend if you wish. And coming back up, gaze is neutral. Drawing the fists over into that left hip crease. So again, making sure the left elbow is drawing back in towards you. And then lowering the right ear into the right shoulder, opening up the left side of the neck. And bringing your head back to center, releasing your hands, finding that lizard pose, both hands to the inside of the front leg or the front foot. Left hand reaches up, finding that twist. So reaching through those fingertips, maybe the gaze follows the fingertips. Incorporating the quadricep stretch, right heel draws to right seat, taking a hold of the pinky toe side of the foot. Keep looking over that left shoulder, use the straps or towel if you need to. Gently releasing the leg. Your left hand to the inside of the front foot. And then finding your wide-legged forward fold on the other side. So walking the hands over to the right ankle this time. Maybe both hands can come to the ankle. Allowing the chest to draw close to your thighs. Keep pressing into the feet, engaging your glutes here. Coming back through center, walking the hands over to the left. Coming back to center, Skandasana, bending into the right knee, the left toes lift, hands to heart center. So allowing the hips to settle here. Releasing the right hand to the inside of the right leg, the left hand reaches up, and then starting to make those circles with the arm. So just opening up. Last time here, reaching forward and then quarter turn to the back of your mat. Right toes or right leg should be forward. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, shifting forward to grounded warrior 3. So back heel in line with left hip, toes pointing down, palms are flat, walking fingertips back in line with toes. Hollow out the belly, draw the forehead to the shin. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left toes behind the right foot, so 2 big toes are touching. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. And then inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms reach up overhead. Palms to touch. Interlace the hands. Releasing thumb and index finger. Good, drawing the hands over to the right side this time. Opening up the right side body. Coming back to center, exhale, hinge and fold. Walking the hands over to the right, releasing the head, the neck, the shoulders. Walking the hands over to the left. Lifting up high on the toes, unraveling the feet. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. And walk your hands forward to that high plank. Finding those mountain climbers again, left knee into left elbow this time to start. The left knee and right. So using your core, pressing into the hands. We'll do one more on each side. And then lowering down onto knees, chest, and chin, hips stay lifted. Inhale, draw your heart forward. Baby cobra. Exhale, lower, tuck toes under. From your core, find your high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come back to the breath. Stepping your feet together. Inhale, right leg rises, 3-point. Exhale, we draw knee to nose for cheetah. This time we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step your foot in between your hands. Draw your heart forward, hips lower. And then next inhale, we rise for a high crescent lunge. But arms reach up overhead. And then draw the right hand onto the right thigh, the left hand onto the left thigh. Exhale, lower and tap the knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower and tap. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower and tap. Inhale to extend. Draw the arms back behind you, open up the heart, find the bind, lift your heart. Gaze up. Finding high lizard, both hands to the inside of the front foot. So high on the back toes, maybe heel toe that right foot out slightly. Knee in line with toes, and then rock forwards and back a little bit, just opening up through the hip. And then stepping the left foot forward, finding your malasana. So hands to heart center, elbows to the inner thighs, separating the feet so they're at least max distance apart. And then lengthen the crown of the head up as the tailbone lengthens down. If you have a block, you can always slide a block underneath your seat, give yourself a little bit more support. And when you're ready, the hands will lower. Lifting your hips, stepping the left foot back behind you, back into that low runner's lunge. And then quarter turn to the side, finding your wide-legged forward fold. So walking the hands back in towards you. Fingertips in line with the toes, elbows draw back, navel to spine. Engaging those glutes, lengthening the crown of the head down. Pressing into the outer blades of the feet. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, Skandasana, bending into the left knee, left toe spin out, hands to heart center. Left hand to the inside of the front foot, right hand reaches up. So a couple options here. You can place the hand to the back of the head, open up the heart, the elbow reaches up. Maybe a bind is in your practice. So bringing the left hand around the left leg, right hand or right arm to the low back, fingertips connected. Gently releasing the bind. Coming into your low runner's lunge to the back of your mat. So left foot forward. Take a breath in, inhale, lengthen, exhale, warrior, grounded warrior 3. Exhale, lower and tap the right, or the left heel, pardon me. Inhale, right leg lifts. Tap in the heel, so using that glute to lift the leg as well as the core. Lower and tap. Inhale, lift. And then crossing the toes together for Krishna's dance. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. And then walking the hands over to the right, lifting up high on the toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Walking the hands forward into your high plank. Lowering down all the way onto the belly for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands draw back behind you, palms facing down, big toes touch. Next, inhale, lift your heart in your chest. Keep pressing into the hands. Keeping your hands exactly where they are, your chest exactly where they are. Inhale, lift the legs. So balancing on the hip points, squeezing your inner thighs together. Broadening through collarbones. Next, inhale, arms reach back behind you. Shoulders away from the ears. Think length over height. So really lengthening the spine here. Engaging those glutes. Take one more breath in. And then exhale, lower everything down. Left hand comes underneath the shoulders. Right hand underneath the left shoulders. Tuck the toes under. Finding your high plank. So option to keep modifying the flow, lowering to knees, chest, chin. Or perhaps chaturanga dandasana. So bending the elbows back. Good. Make sure that the shoulders do not dip below the elbows. Untuck the toes. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Thighs stay lifted off the earth. Lift the heart, the chest, gaze up. And then exhale to your downward facing dog. So at any point in time that I do offer the flow, feel free to move into down dog and skip the flow if you're getting a little tired and you need a little bit of a rest. They're always just an option. And you have the liberty to make your practice your own. So if you need a little bit more in there, you can do that as well. Maybe adding a push-up. Inhale, left leg rises, 3-point. And then we'll bend the knee, peel the hip open. I believe we missed it on the first time we did this. So open up the left hip, stacking the left knee up on top of the hip. And straighten the legs, square the hips. Exhale, draw knee to nose. And hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step your foot in between your hands. Inhale, draw your heart forward and lengthen. Next, inhale, we rise, high crescent, Anjayasana. Arms reach up overhead. And then lowering the left hand onto the left thigh, the right hand onto the right thigh. Exhale, lower and tap the back knee. Inhale, extend and lift. Exhale, lower, tap. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower and tap. Inhale to extend. Draw the hands back behind you. Finding the bind. So opening up the heart, lifting the chest, lifting the gaze. Shoulders draw away from ears. Pressing up to the back of the right kneecap. Good. Gently release the hands, finding that high lizard. So heel toe, the left foot to the left corner of the mat. Left toes out, heel is in. Allowing those hips to settle, staying high on the back toes here. Stepping into Malasana Yogi Squat, right foot moves to the left, to the outside of your mat, lower hips, hands to heart center. So option to stay exactly where you are, maybe close the eyes, come back to intention, maybe working or playing with crow, so finding that curiosity in your practice. This is such a great thing to do, we're all at home, no one's watching us, so we can give these things a try. So bringing your feet together, lifting the knees up into the armpits, bending the elbows, so chaturanga the arms. Bringing your gaze, your drishti about 2 feet in front of you. Start to rock forwards. Maybe this is as far as you stay today. Maybe you start to lift up one foot, seeing what that feels like. Maybe the other toe to seat. Maybe both feet come into the seat. If this is easy for you, challenging yourself, taking it to that new place, maybe finding your crane. So straightening the bend in the elbows. Maybe drawing the heels up closer and towards your seat. And then coming back into your Malasana. And then hands will lower, stepping the right foot back behind you. So both runner's lunge with the left foot forward, quarter turn to the right, so wide-legged forward fold. So option this time to bring the hands to the outsides of the feet, maybe kiss fingers to big toes. Maybe if you have an inversion practice, you can find that supported headstand if you'd like. So just going to a place that feels right for you today. And breathing, finding that Ujjayi breath, riding the wave of the breath. Finding that one pointed focus, that drishti point. And then if you are upside down, gently starting to make your way back down with control. And hands will release underneath. If you inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, Skandasana, right toes spin out, bending into the right knee, left toes lift. Hands to heart center, you can stay here, or place the right hand to the inside of the right foot. Left hand reaches up, maybe bending the elbow, left hand behind the left back of the head. Maybe finding that bind. Left hand to the low back, palm facing up, sweeping the right hand around the right thigh. So you have the bind. Think of lifting your heart and your chest, drawing your pelvis down and forwards. And releasing the hands, quarter turn to the back of your mat, so the right foot should be forward. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, grounded warrior 3. Next, exhale, lower and tap the left toe to the back of the right heel. Use your glutes to lift up. Exhale, lower and tap. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower and tap. Inhale, extend. And then exhale, bringing the 2 big toes to touch for Krishna stance. Good. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. And then walking the hands over to the left, so unraveling those toes, all 10 toes facing forward. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Walking your hands forward to your high plank. Lowering down onto the belly for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This time the hands can draw back behind you. You can take the same variation we did on the other side where you lift everything up. Or if you'd like to go further, finding locust pose, so bringing the palms together, interlacing the hands. With your next inhale, lifting everything off. So again, balancing on the hip bones, drawing your heart forward, working on that length over height. Shoulders draw away from ears, and then lift your hands away from your glutes. See if that can lift your chest a little bit higher. Keep the length. Take one more breath in, and then exhale, forehead releases to the mat. Hands come underneath the shoulders, pressing up to high plank, or maybe making your way to down dog. Maybe moving into your chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. So moving through that vinyasa, making up one breath per movement. Coming back to your downward facing dog. Stepping the feet together, inhale, right leg rises, 3-point. Exhale, mountain climber, prep, option to hold here for 5 or fly if that's in your practice. So chaturanga the arms, shifting the weight forward, lifting on the left leg. Inhale, right leg rises, 3-point. Exhale, knee to nose, step the foot in between your hands. Back heel pivots to 45. Inhale, we rise. Warrior 2. So arms to a T, making sure that the right knee is going up to the pinky toe side of the right foot. Left toes are facing forward, so 90 degrees. Flip the palm, Inhale, reach up and back to peaceful warrior. So opening up right side body. And then exhale, modified side angle, right forearm to thigh, left hand reaches up, maybe beside the ear. Of course, if you'd like to take it further, you can move into your extended side angle, right hand to the inside of the left foot. Navel to spine, spiraling everything up to the sky. Next, inhale, rise, warrior two. Keep the bend in the front knee. Stay strong, stay with me. Next, inhale, straighten the bend in the front knee. Exhale, hinge at the hips, Trikonasana. So right hand on top of right shin, left hand reaches up. Scooting the right hip under the left. Maybe taking this further, placing the fingertips to the inside of the right foot. Little to no weight on that bottom arm. So using your core, your obliques to hold you up. Maybe if you have the space, peace fingers to big toes. So lots of options to go to a different place today with your practice. Next, inhale, pyramid pose. Step the back foot up by about a foot. Sway your hips and shoulders forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. So forehead to the shin, palms are flat, hollow out the belly. Next, exhale, revolve triangle. So left hand stays to the inside of the front foot, or if you have a block at home and you need a little bit more space, right hand reaches up. So hips stay square. Right hip back, left hip forward, stacking collarbones. Maybe going further, left hand comes to the outside, the pinky toe side of that front foot. Maybe even just placing the hand on the top of the foot. And then lowering the right hand down, stepping forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms to touch. And as you exhale, drawing the left arm underneath the right for eagle arms. So if you can, bringing the palms together, lifting elbows in line with shoulders. If that's not accessible to you, taking a hold of opposite shoulders like that to modify. Bending into the left knee, left leg reaches up and over, Garudasana, eagle pose. So lowering those hips, stacking shoulders over hips, maybe double cross if you have this, or double if you have the space. So the foot comes around the ankle. See if you can sink lower. And then gently releasing, moving into our dancer. So left hand to the inside of the left foot, right hand reaches forward. Take a breath in, and then kick back, left foot into the left hand, reaching your heart and your chest forwards. Finding your gaze and your drishti. Gently release, coming into your long runner's lunge. So left foot lunges back. Inhale the left leg high, 3-point. Bend the knee, peel that hip open. Option to stay or flip your dog. If you're flipping your dog, all 10 toes facing forwards. Lifting your heart, pressing equal weight in both feet. Right hand lowers, inhale, right leg high, 3-point. Exhale, twisted cheetah, maybe extend to fallen star. Open up, left hand reaches forwards. Left hand lowers, inhale, right leg high, 3-point. So option to keep the leg here as you move through move through your vinyasa. So Chaturanga Dandasana. Both feet land for upper facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Coming back to 3 rounds of breath. Next, inhale, left leg rises, 3-point. Exhale, mountain climber, we hold or fly for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3-point.
Exhale, step your foot in between your hands, low runner's lunge, back heel spins to 90, inhale, rise, Virabhadasana 2. So arms to a T. And finding that front heel to back arch alignment, shoulders draw down, shoulder blades squeezing together. Inhale, peaceful, left hand reaches up, opening up left side body. And then exhale, modified side angle, left forearm to thigh, right hand reaches up. So twisting open your heart. Maybe moving into that extended side angle if that's in your practice, left hand down, maybe place a block to the inside of the left foot. Draw the arm forwards. Keeping the bend in the knee, inhale, we rise, warrior 2, shoulders stacked over hips. Stay with me for a couple rounds of breath. So strong. Next, inhale, straighten the bend in the front knee. Exhale, Trikonasana, left hand to a block. The inside of the foot onto the shin. Whatever works for you. Stacking those collarbones. Left hip scoots under, slightly right. Then inhale, pyramid pose. Stepping the back foot forward, squaring knees and shoulders. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Left hip back, right hip forward, forward fold. Chest to thigh, forehead to the shin. Keeping the right hand grounded, exhale, revolve, triangle, left hand reaches up. So using a block if you need to. Maybe moving the hand on top of the left foot, seeing what that feels like. Maybe moving the hand to the outside, the pinky toe side of the foot. And then challenging the gaze, the drishti. So looking up to those left fingertips. And left hand lower, stepping the right foot up to meet the left to forward fold. Halfway lift and lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana, exhale, fold, inhale, rise, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, right hand swings under left, eagle arms, Virabhadasana, bending into the knees. Right leg goes over this time. So sinking hips low, maybe double cross if you have the space. Elbows in line with shoulders, hands draw away from you. Left hip slightly forward, right hip back. Hollowing out the belly. See if you can sink a little bit lower. Moving into dancer, so releasing the right leg back behind you, take a hold of the inside of the foot, knees to touch, inhale, left hand reaches up. Exhale, hinge and fold, kicking the right foot into the right hand. Finding that gaze, drishti just beyond the front fingertips. Resisting that urge to look down. Keep looking forward. And then when you're ready, gently releasing low runner's lunge. So framing the front foot, lunging the right foot back behind you. And then inhale, left leg high, peeling that hip open. Option to stay or flip your dog here. So all 10 toes to the back, lifting hips. Maybe gazing to the back of the wall behind you. Unflipping your dog when you're ready. Inhale, left leg high, 3-point. Exhale, twisted cheetah or fallen star. So extending the left leg to the top right corner of the mat. Right hand reaches up, or maybe drawing the arm forwards, opening up the side of the body. Right hand lowers, inhale, left leg high, 3-point. Shifting forward, keeping that leg elevated if you choose, lowering down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. Coming back to the breath, your Ujjayi breath. Your resting pose. If you need more of a break, you can always find child's pose. And then inhale, right leg high, 3-point. Coming into pigeon on the right side. So the right shin parallel to the top of the earth, flexing in through the right foot. Maybe lift your chest, hands to the outsides of your mat maybe. Squaring your hips, your shoulders. And then gently walking your hands down. Maybe surrendering into your pigeon. You can use a block underneath your forehead. Maybe underneath your chest. If this is bothering your low back or your knees, you can swing down onto your back, finding your figure 4 reclined pigeon, interlacing the hands to the back of the thigh, flexing in through both feet. Hands come underneath of you. Press into the hands to lift the heart. Tuck your left toes under. Coming back to your downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal out the feet, bending in through one knee and then the next. Maybe circle out that right hip. Maybe stillness is what's serving. Next, in the left leg rises, 3-point. Axle pigeon on the left, so flexing into the left foot, protecting the knee, lifting the heart, the chest, maybe staying here. The right toe should be right back behind you. Maybe surrendering, moving the chest down, or coming back into that reclined pigeon or figure 4 on your back, if that's what you did on the other side. And staying slightly active here, so keep pressing into the left shin and into the right top of the thigh. Releasing any tension anywhere else. Relaxing the space in between your forehead. Relaxing your jaw. Relaxing the tops of your shoulders. When you're ready, bringing the hands underneath of you, walking the back and towards you to lift the chest, tucking the left toes under, coming back to your down dog, walking that out. And when you're ready, walking the feet about halfway up your mat, lowering onto a seat, extending the legs forward, finding your Dandasana. So hands to the outsides of the hips, finding that tall spine. So legs are active here. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hinge and fold, Paschimottanasana. So taking a hold of the shins, the ankles, the outsides of the feet, maybe binding peace fingers to big toes. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen, hollow the belly, engage quads. Exhale, hinge and fold. So lengthening from the low back. Crown of the head reaching forward and using your core and your back strength to come down, using the breath to melt deeper as opposed to the arms doing all the work for you. When you're ready, inhale, lift the heart, the chest. Walk the hands back behind you. And then lowering the bottoms of the feet into the earth as we lift the hips for Purvottanasana. So reversing the plank here, lifting the heart, pressing into the hands, looking up to sky, maybe releasing the head, looking to the wall behind you. Gently lowering your hips down, lifting your heart and your chest, bending the knees up and towards you. Finding that tall spine, extending the fingertips forward, lowering down onto the back for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing the arms to a T, one knee at a time to come into the chest, finding a gentle supine twist, lowering the legs over to the left. So left hand onto the top of the left thigh. Maybe if you want a little bit more, you can cross the left leg over the right. And then bring your gaze towards the right fingertips. Coming back through center, using the core to lift the legs. Exhale, lowering the legs to the right. Looking towards left fingertips, crossing left leg over right. Right hand onto the top of the left thigh. Maybe gazing towards the left fingertips. And coming back to center, option for waterfall. So extending the legs up to the ceiling like you're stepping on the ceiling, toes to shins, hands down by your sides, palms facing up. If you'd like to take this a little bit further, perhaps finding your happy baby. So bending the knees to the outsides of the rib cage, the hands come to the outer blades of the feet or peace fingers to big toes. Feet up to the ceiling like you're stepping on the ceiling. Hollowing out the belly so the low back should stay connected to the earth here. If it's lifting, you can always slide your hands down, taking a hold of the shins. So your knees are in line with the shoulders here, and then just maybe rocking gently from side to side, massaging the kidneys. Gently drawing the knees into your chest, Adhanasana, arms wrap around your shins. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, moving the forehead into the knees. Inhale, head, neck, and shoulders lower, and then exhale, the legs release to the top of your mat. So setting up for your Shavasana, gently tucking the shoulder blades underneath of you, lifting the heart, opening up the chest. If the chin is lifted, drawing it back down into the chest, gently neutralizing, allowing your body to melt completely towards the earth, allowing the earth to support you. With every breath, seeing if you can sink just a little bit deeper. We'll finish our practice with a cleansing breath. Biggest breath of the day, draw it in, a little bit more air, holding at the top, and then exhale, sigh everything out. Finding your Shavasana. Thank you so much, yogis, for allowing me to guide you through your practice this morning. I hope you have a wonderful day and stay safe and be well. Namaste.